So right
Right.
now we've got this, I don't want to say epidemic, but we've got this major problem brewing sort of just under the surface of society because, as you mentioned in the top, there are a lot of people who watch pornography.
Yeah.
According to the latest statistics I saw post pandemic, 91.5% of men who use the internet look at pornography at least once a month. 60.5% of women, or I'm sorry, 60.2% of women who use the internet look at pornography once a month. And why are people looking at this? Usually it comes along with self satisfaction or self pleasure, and that causes arousal of the mind. And that arousal of the mind is very much like a drug high. You are
Mm.
releasing chemicals like dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin. And for many people, especially the youngest people among us, this becomes a coping technique to deal with trauma, to deal with stress, to deal with anxiety. It's not really even at the core necessarily about naked people doing naked things for them. It's the feeling in the mind that
Mm.
it gives them. That's where this addiction comes from. Now, if you're using it simply as a sexual surrogate, if you're using it simply as an aid in your self pleasure, there is nothing inherently wrong with it if you don't have issues on the moral side, if you don't have issues on the ethical side when it comes to how pornography is made, how it's consumed. For most people, much like people who drink, much like people who gamble, they can handle it. They know how to handle it in moderation. And while it certainly isn't a healthy thing that's going to improve your health, it doesn't hurt most people. But right now, we're looking at about 1 in 5 people who are qualifying as a porn addict. And to me, if 20% of people are dealing with an issue, it's an issue that needs to be talked about.
Right. So, how does one know that they've crossed the line into becoming a porn addict? Like, when does that? How do you know that you've become addicted to it?
Well, it's really like any other addiction. Addiction is addiction is addiction. For
Mm.
me, I was a porn addict for 24 years. I was an alcoholic for 22 years. I've been clean almost 10 years now. Addiction is when you partake in an activity or a behavior or a substance, and despite understanding that there are negative ramifications for it, you still feel like you have no control